Ben said earlier today that he might jump in, but he's not reading the messages right now. I don't think he's on the internet. I don't think he's online. And I never heard from Jade. I assume he's working. Ron said maybe. And Anthony, it's his birthday today, so I don't think he's going to join in.
Jade was working doing the BTS shows, but I don't
Yeah.
think there was one today.
Oh, I don't
Well,
know.
I know there wasn't one today because they were playing them at SoFi, and there was a game at SoFi.
Well, then there probably wasn't one today. All right. Anyways, hello everyone, and welcome to another gathering of the League of Sedentary Gentlemen. I am your host Brian. Joining me tonight, Boomer, and that is all. Oh, lots has happened since the last time I was on the microphone. First and foremost, Boomer, I know you don't give a shit, but I do. Rest in peace, Virgle Abloh. I apologize if I'm saying the name incorrectly, but the CEO of Off-White, a designer, did a lot of sneakers, most notably for Nike, secretly battling cancer, has passed away. I think it was 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks now, or a week ago. No, yeah, it was a week ago. It was a week ago that he passed away, and I personally don't have any off-white products. Not for a lack of trying. I did go for both of the Nike Air Jordan 5 off-whites. One in the sale and one in the gray colorway. Both of those I went for, but they were nearly impossible to get. Resale was ridiculous, like always, and so they weren't shoes that I liked enough to go try to find replicas for. So I just never got any. But I mean, they were interesting designs. He definitely changed things a lot, and I'm sure he will be missed, especially by Nike, because he made them a lot of money. So he will definitely be missed.
Well, you say I wouldn't care. The reason I don't care is because of all the bullshit. I mean, you used to go down to Foot Locker or wherever, buy a pair of shoes. You had about a 90% chance that they'd have what you want in the store,
Yeah.
unless you were a weird size. I'm a weird size, but they often had shoes for me until my feet kept getting wider. And that's the reason I don't like it. I mean, even New Balance, which is an old person type of shoe, they're almost the same damn way. I really got to like those basketball shoes. They gave me good support. They turned out to be really comfortable. And I went back fairly shortly after I wore them a few times and realized that they were going to work great. And they didn't have one pair. They had like, I don't know, six colorways. They didn't have another pair in my size with a wide width in any of them, not one. I even wanted to buy another pair of the exact same ones I have because
Yes.
I'm not fashion conscious about it. I want a shoe that fits me and is comfortable since I'm so hard to fit. And I've looked back 15 times since I bought them and nothing. And then I kind of lucked out. A shoe that hasn't been on their website showed up. Um, it's a lacrosse shoe, but it's a high top.
Yes.
It looked similar to the ones I bought, but it didn't have like the reinforced stitching around the toe and the side, which made me think they would stretch out even more than the ones I have. So I took a chance and ordered them, and I just took them out of the box and looked at them and sent pictures to make you jealous because I know how much you like shoes. And I did slip one onto one foot, and it looks like it's going to work. I was worried because it has a little support in the back to help with your ankle support. And it's got a weird sole. It's smooth but sticky. Lacrosse is played on a field, so isn't it? It's not played on hardwood floors.
No, it's outdoors. Yeah, grass field.
Oh, well, anyway, I haven't really got them out to look at them. It may be a little while. I have two pairs of shoes that I wear now. That's usually all I ever have is two pair. But I anywhere I go where I'm going to do some walking or getting in and out or whatever, I take the high tops, and I'm just afraid they're going to break down or wear out, and I have nothing to replace them. And it just pisses me off to no end. Even New Balance, old people's shoes, same shit as with all the others. Not as bad. They still have a
Yeah.
lot of sizes in there. They just don't have my 14 extra wides
Well,
in
and
any of them.
you gotta watch out for collaborations too. But that's what New Balance is starting to get into a little more is collaborations, and everybody, um, Adidas too. They're the worst offender. They're starting to model Nike's business plan, and it pisses me off. This overhyped and short inventory, and to make it impossible to get, to make people want them more, and it pisses me off. And you can kind of attribute that to the Off-White guy, Virgil Abloh, a little bit. I think it was already a problem when he started doing sneakers with Nike. But his shoes are definitely like an example of that. Like you go on StockX right now and look up any Off-White sneaker from Nike, and they're going to be, if not $1,000, close to $1,000 for resale for a pair of fucking tennis shoes. And what gets me with the Off-White stuff is the way that they're made. They're not necessarily premium materials like you would normally get. Like a Jordan 5 is usually suede or pretty decent leather. But the Off-White stuff is meant to look like it's turned inside out. So it's like this foam material. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird material that it's made out of. It's not even a premium material. Regardless, even for a suede shoe, I wouldn't pay $1,000 on the resale market. That's just nonsense. But even more so for one of his shoes, even though the design is cool, but yeah, I don't know. And New Balance, like they're starting to release like special edition stuff. I really like the 327, and there's been a couple 327s recently that have come out that I really like, and they're doing that same bullshit where they hype them up and they don't have the inventory, and so you go there to try to get them and they're gone. And same thing, like going in the store, they have the regular colors of the 327, but the ones that I'm looking for, they don't have them. So same shit. They're all following the same model. Nintendo started it all in the 80s. So
It's been that way a long time. When I was younger, when you were just a little kid, I, I liked basketball shoes. I've always liked them because I like the support, and but I didn't spend a lot of money on them. But the first ones I really liked were the Air Jordans, those original black ones with like a red trim kind of thing.
the breads, those are Air Jordan 6s.
Well, they were fairly early on, but I fell in love with them because it was the first shoe that I ever bought that was like, it felt like a feather. I mean, I'm sure it's heavier now than a lot of shoes today.
Yes.
But back then, when you were talking about a Converse with, 1.5 inch rubber sole, and I mean, these things felt so light and they were so comfortable. They were getting pretty expensive back then. I bought you a pair, and
Yes.
I wanted more of those, but I didn't want them right away. I kind of wore mine until they wouldn't. Back then I could still get into a 13, and I didn't need the extra wides. Sometimes I still bought a 14, even back then. But I wore them for like a year, and then I wanted to go back and get another pair, and already they discontinued. They changed the fucking shoes too often.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't even a year. I came back and I wanted another pair of those. I didn't want anything else, and you couldn't get them, couldn't find them. That was way back. When were you 6?
So
7 or 8?
the Jordan 6. No, I was 10. The Jordan 6 came out the year that he won his first championship, which was 1990, and that's when I first started, realizing that sneakers were cool. And of course, Michael Jordan. So yeah, I wanted a pair of Reebok pumps, which I got from my grandparents, and I wanted a pair of Jordan 6s, which you got for me. And remember, even when you were trying to find some for me, the black and red ones were sold out everywhere. We went around to different stores trying to find the black and red ones again, and we couldn't find them anywhere. So I settled. You tried to talk me out of it, but I settled for the white and red ones. They were all white with red trim instead of the black ones because we couldn't find the black ones anywhere. And I was a very impatient kid, and I settled for the white and red ones. which was still fine. I mean, my friends still oohed and awed, and I felt fine wearing them. It was fine. It was, yeah, I was a kid, and they were Jordans. You know, it's what it was. That was 1990 though, and then you had a pair of the next ones, the Jordan 7s that came out. Those were the black and purple and red ones, and
I did buy more Jordans, but I was
yes,
really pissed they didn't have. And that was a big change for me because I never wore anything but white shoes. I mean, when I was growing up, well, actually, when I was real little, the black Converses were a thing.
yeah,
But I liked white tennis shoes. And growing, as a young adult and growing up, if I bought a tennis shoe, it was fucking white. I couldn't stand like a black shoe.
right.
But I fell in love with those fucking Jordans. They were so comfortable. But so I don't know why I would try to talk you out of a white pair because that was always my go-to color.
No, because I wanted the black ones, and
Oh,
we
I
went to
know.
a couple different stores, and they were gone, and you were convinced we would find them somewhere, and I was being impatient because I'm impatient, and I was done looking, and we had the white ones in the hand. It's a, what is it? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Yeah.
So I wanted the white ones, and I was willing to settle for them, and it was fine. And um, I forgot what I was gonna say. The Jordan 7. It's funny. I'm not a big fan of the Jordan 7 anymore, but we both had a pair of Jordan 7s back in 91 when they were new, or maybe it was 92 when the 7 came out. And yeah, because 91 he still wore the 6s. I remember that. That's when the Carmines came out. Anyways, so it must have been 92. The only pair of 7s that I liked was the Bordeaux colorway, is what they call them. That's what I had, and they just re-released those, and it made me feel old. And they re-released the Jordan 6, which is my favorite silhouette, in the Bordeaux colorway. They're on the box on the table right here behind me. And going back to what you said about in the 90s, you could go to a store. I was completely shocked. So right before we went to Hawaii, I had to go get the batteries changed in mine and Rebecca's G-Shock watches, because those are the watches we wear when we go swimming. And so we both needed batteries in our watches. And there's a spot in Stonewood, Downey Stonewood, where I go get my batteries and my watches in general, where I get them serviced. And so I dropped him off. He said, okay, it'll be like 45 minutes. All right, no problem. So I walked around. I walked into a JD's, and I'm just browsing. I don't need any shoes. I'm not looking for any shoes. Just browsing
That's an
around.
understatement of the year.
Well, I mean, there wasn't any special releases or anything that I was specifically looking for. I'm just browsing around. And bam, right there on the wall, these goddamn Jordan 6 Bordeaux's. And now they don't resell particularly well. A lot of the scalpers return them, and there's been a few people on YouTube saying that they saw them at the outlet stores and whatnot. But this is still a sneaker where you could go on eBay or StockX and find it above retail because fucking scalpers have them. And I found them. They're just there on the wall. And I'm like, huh. And so I asked the employee, I'm like, do you have those in a 12? And she's like, yeah, I'll go check. She came back with them. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, I'm about to buy a fucking pair of shoes. I didn't even come here to buy shoes. And I'm like, because of COVID protocols, I asked her, can I try them on? And she's like, yeah, it's fine. So I tried them on really quick and walked around. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to get them. Because now I have the story to go along with I haven't reviewed them yet. And I'm way late to the game on those, so I'm not expecting that to be a huge hit, but whatever. But now I have a story to go along with them. I walked into the mall and they were there on the shelf. Like, that never fucking happens anymore. They were. And
Well, that don't happen often.
no, it never happens anymore. And so, yeah, that's still, yeah, I'm still a little shocked that I have those sitting on my first retail pair that aren't replicas of Jordan 6s in a long time, probably a year. But anyways, what was I talking about? Went off on a tangent. Virgil Abloh, yeah, rest in peace, Virgil Abloh. What else happened since before? So that happened. Yeah, I was going to talk about finding that shoe in the mall. And
I
oh,
can't get the shoes I want. I wrote, being a boomer, I wrote 3 emails to frickin' New Balance, and
Good luck with
they
that.
never gave me any kind of, well, our stock revolves, check back, and I'm like, did you not read my email? I checked every day for 3 weeks in a row, and you never got anything in my size.
They don't care. They
I
I've
know they don't care.
I've written a couple of emails to Nike over their app, the sneakers app, and what a shit show it is, and they just give you all the bullshit answers. They don't care. They don't care. That's all it is. They think that the way they're doing it is fine, and I mean it's fine for them because they're gonna make money. They they make their shit so scarce and build the hype when it does come available. The scalpers are gonna buy it. So and then that's fine for them. They don't care. They make the money. They don't care.
Well, I
Um,
liked my tennis shoes, and I had certain ones I'd like, but I wasn't that into it until those first pair of Jordans. I just thought they were remarkable. But then fast forward, 6, 7, 8 years, I was in Albuquerque, and then my weight spiraled out of control, and I couldn't wear Jordans. I couldn't wear Nikes anymore because they didn't have wider widths, and for the next 25 years, all I wore were New Balances.
well, traditionally basketball shoes don't have wide, no, but some. I mean, I know that Reebok had wide for basketball shoes. I mean, you gotta broaden your search there a little bit. I
I
think
looked around at a lot of different places. I bought those Adidas's because they did have a wide. No, they didn't. It's the Skechers that were a wide width,
Skechers have wide.
and I had to wash those Skechers because somebody's children spilled ice cream all over them,
Hey,
and now they don't
you
fit the same.
you got them ice cream on a hot day at Dodger Stadium, and I had no part in it. By the time you got back to the seat with the kids and the ice cream, half of it was melted and on you already anyway.
Well,
So,
anyway, I had to wash them, and they don't fit me right anymore. Anyway, but they were never very stable. They were the worst stable shoes for me. Um, I had a hard time walking with the cane. If I was walking with the walker, I was okay with those, but they were very comfortable. And the Adidas, if I completely unlaced them almost and let the tongue hang down, then I could get them on, but they were never what I'd call comfortable. The only shoes I would call comfortable are my New Balance trainers that are a 4 wide, and they're actually a little sloppy for me. I have to start tying those now. I can't slip them on, or they'll fall off my foot while I'm driving. And the New Balance high tops. I'm hoping these other New Balances I have are going to work for me. I'm not like you. I don't get super excited. They're still in the box over there, but I'll eventually get them out and put them on and wear them a few times and break them in. But it's not. I just like what I like, and it just pisses me off that I can't even buy a second pair within a few months of when I bought the first pair. It's just ridiculous.
well, maybe you should go the cousin Jade route and just start wearing flip flops all the time.
Right, I can't. I can't do that. That's why I like these high tops, because they give me some. I have to have support.
Well,
I'm too wobbly on my feet anymore. I can't do it.
you should just Google wide sneakers. I think you'll find something.
A lot of New Balance trainers, they still have those, but those are low tops.
Right.
Anyway, there's much more important news. The most important news that's happened in the last 2 days is that the Disneyland unions
Oh God.
ratified a contract, so there's not going to be a strike over the holidays.
Well, that brings me to my next topic. Was the Major League Baseball Players Association could not come to terms on a contract, and they're in a lockout right now.
That's
So,
why I stopped watching baseball. After the second baseball strike, I was done with baseball. I didn't watch it anymore. Besides that, I was in New Mexico and I wasn't really around the Dodgers, and the Dodger farm team was in New Mexico, so that's when I just went to 3 AAA club games and college games, and I didn't watch professional baseball for years after that second strike.
Well, we'll see how far this one goes. It just started right now, but they were talking about how it's a little bit ridiculous, it being the off season, that how many players still try to use the facility during the off season? I'm sure people who are rehabbing, of course, they want to, but to just completely lock them out of the facilities, if they want to use them, they can't. Like, that's a bit extreme. I
They're
mean,
all billionaires. It doesn't matter. They can have whatever they want at home or
yes, I know. Well,
anywhere
not
they want to go. But
not all of them are millionaires, by the way. Baseball's weird. Baseball's not. It's kind of like, it's a little bit similar to the NFL. Baseball is like, they give you nickels and dimes until you have one good season, and then all of a sudden they hand you $1 million, millions of dollars. There's a lot of people that play Major League Baseball that don't make a lot of money. Like, they make more than you and I. Obviously, the league
the
minimum.
league minimum is still like more money than most of us see in a lifetime. It's usually it's almost a million or more than a million. The league minimum.
No, I don't think it was that much. I thought it was like 750K.
I don't know for sure.
Well, so
But
there's
I went through a stretch where I made a lot of money, but then I went through a stretch where I didn't make very much money. I'd have to say I doubt that I've made $1 million in my lifetime.
yeah. There's plenty of baseball players that don't make that much, and there's also plenty of NFL players like linemen and special teams people and stuff like that where they don't make millions, yet. And
Well, linemen they don't make as much as the flashy, but they make good money because you don't got a team. Your team's shit if you can't protect your quarterback and can't
yeah,
block for your running back. So
yes,
they're usually the highest draft. You're going to get the best quarterback of the year drafted, maybe a running back. But you watch a draft, it's linemen after offensive linemen after offensive linemen. They go faster than a good running back. They need those linemen.
cousin Jay just checked in. He's with his one of his many hotness. That's why he's not joining us, by the way. FYI. Um,
Well, he worked several days last week or this week, so
yeah.
he probably needed a break.
So what was I talking about? I keep losing my train of thought. The lockout, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So I'll see where that goes. It's not really that big of a deal right now yet. The off season just started, but
No.
Dodgers already lost 2 fucking players that I wanted to
Yes,
see
they
re-signed.
did. Yes, they did. And the ones that people are making a big deal about, what's his name, the pitcher that's been with them forever. He's in
Kershaw.
his last. Yeah, Kershaw. He's in his last years. He's got an arm problem right now.
Yeah.
Now, I got to give the guy credit. He said he's not going to sign with anybody until he finds out if his arm is healthy enough for him to pitch again. That's a good thing.
Right.
Him and the closer, I don't understand why
Jensen.
they even worry about those two, Jensen. I don't know why they even worry about those two. It's the ones that have already left that I was worried about, and they still got 2 or 3 more of those that they need to deal with.
Yeah, Seager. I'm sad that Seager left.
Yep.
And Scherzer. I wanted to see Scherzer stick around especially because I knew that Clayton Kershaw is at the end of his playing career.
Yep.
And I was hoping that Scherzer would stick around, but yeah, he lit on out of there real quick. He went all the way back to the East Coast. He's with New York now.
Yeah, I knew. He had a great season up until the fucking playoffs. He did not pitch well in the playoffs,
No.
but then not many of the Dodgers did pitch well into the playoffs. So
No.
comparably, if you compare, he probably still did as good or better than most of the pitchers. But he just pitched fantastic during the season. The guy was touchable almost.
Well, I was worried going into the playoffs because actually his last 2 starts of the regular season were kind of bad
Against San Francisco.
Yeah, they were kind of bad, and so I was worried going into the playoffs because, yeah. But he came out. I'm a little bit. I haven't read the story yet, so I'm gonna hold my opinion. But I'm a little bit annoyed. He already came out and said that his pitching issues were because of the manager. his pitching issues in the playoffs, where he was blaming Dodgers management.
I don't understand his decisions. He makes some pretty weird decisions. Let's put it that way.
You talking about Dave Roberts?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. His now I understand because Kershaw was hurt. His pitcher by committee, those 2 games that he did that where he everybody came out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I know.
There was no starting pitcher per se. That I think he did because he was shorthanded. Some of his other decisions, I mean, yeah, they were questionable, but I mean, look where he gets them to the World Series or to within a game or two of the World Series. How many times now? So I mean, he's doing something right.
Yeah, but he went so many times before they won that one, and then they lost. It's like,
Yeah.
and people were starting to say it. It's like, we'll ignore the Dodgers. There's no competition for them in the West when they get into the playoffs and have to play the American League. There's far better talent in the American League. I don't know if that's bullshit or what.
Well, and in the last 2 years, though, you can't really say that because
No.
the year that we did win the World Series, San Diego was right there. They were very good. They had a very good record. They kind of flopped this year, but
They
a lot
did.
of people expected them to be back. They flopped a little bit, and San Francisco. I mean,
Came out of nowhere. I mean,
yeah.
everybody, all the experts said that it's going to be San Diego and the Dodgers. That the Giants have a lot of young players, and they don't know that they don't realize that how they're playing above their heads, and they're going to come back down to grounded, and they're going to fade away, which was totally not the case.
No. And I mean, we had what 100 and the Dodgers had what 103 wins.
Yeah,
Or
we ended up tying because of the one game afterwards, but yeah, two
and
fucking 100-game winning teams. But that takes you back to all the other experts that are saying that there's not as much talent. That's why they can win 100 and some games.
yeah, I don't know. And I mean, you could argue that the American League has more talent than the National League, but then I mean, look who won the World Series again this year. We lost to the National League. We lost to the World Series winner. Braves won it.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to say. It's all those people that are still, when Boston was hot, and New York has been a perennial team that has been down lately. I think they're thinking in terms of that. It may have been true when the Yankees were winning all the time, and then Boston was winning there for 3 or 4 years. And yeah, there was some super talented teams back then, but I think the power has shifted. If anything, I think the West is, I think they're better. I think so.
I think the
But
Dodgers will be back again next year. I want them to get at least one more because I'm worried. The team that I'm scared of is the Yankees because
they're coming up.
they have a lot of young talent. They've got it, and they did okay this year. Like they were right there in the mix at the end of the season. I think that they're like a season or two away from being dominant again.
Yeah.
And so, I want the Dodgers to get another World Series ring before the Yankees come and just start buying their way into it like they always do.
The Yankees are like a USC.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't win the whole thing at USC, Notre Dame, these places, then you're shit, and they'll fire a coach over it and bring in somebody else until they do win. They're just dominant teams. New York's like that. The Yankees have always been dominant since the very beginning, and they will spend everything they have to become dominant again.
And they will.
Yeah.
And they will. I'm worried about that. Everybody look at the Yankees in the next year or two. They'll be there. I'm a little bit afraid of a Dodgers Yankees World Series because if that happens, I might actually have to try to go again. And that was
Too expensive.
that was an ordeal. Yeah, that was an ordeal. Got me in trouble with the wife. it was stressful and
It
expensive.
shouldn't have got you in trouble with the wife, but you know
Well,
what?
I mean, it is what it is.
Once in a
To
lifetime thing, you could have somebody else pick up the kids or do this. I mean, if I had tickets to the World Series, I'd be down there. I'd be at the what's that restaurant I like downtown? I'd have been there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The pantry. I'd have been at the stadium hours before it opened and being prepared and blah blah blah. And
to
you barely made it there for the
well,
start of the game.
because the person who was fronting my ticket, I had to go pick them up. So and it was my buddy who lives out in the IE. I had to go out there and pick him and his
You
kid up
drove
out.
all and picked them up.
Yeah, I drove all the way out there to pick them up before the
That's
game.
crazy. They could have came to your house.
That's not how they had to work, and they worked like right up until it was crunch time. We had to haul ass back down over there, and it was crazy, man. It was very stressful,
Yes.
and and I didn't have to take them all the way back. I dropped them off. They met up with his wife at what was that? It was right off the 60 and the 605. There's I believe it's an In and Out. They met up. We met up with his wife after the game at In and Out, right there, 60 and 605, and we parted ways. But and to be fair,
Baldwin
Austin,
Park, the original In and Out's right there in Baldwin Park
no,
off the 60 freeway, not far from the.
it wasn't. It wasn't that one. It was closer to my house.
Oh,
And to be fair, when I talk about it, I was in the doghouse a little bit. I mean, Austin was sick, and so yeah. I mean, it wasn't the best moment, but got it done, and I went.
well, for normal sporting events, I'm probably easily within the first 50 people at a game anyway. Or concerts. Me and Trevor are
Well,
always the first people in there. Of course, a lot of that's a parking thing. I
yeah.
needed to get decent parking, but still, I'm there. I mean, it's an event. When we were going to all the basketball games, you couldn't get tickets to the Lobo basketball games. But when we first moved there, they raised the prices, and a lot of people got pissed off and didn't get their season seats, and that allowed it.
Yes.
I mean, we used to go to that barbecue place where all the alumni went before the game. You make it an event. I mean, I've always done that, always.
Well, we still got there early. We were there before the game started. Walked around, took in the sights, and I mean, it was fun. It was fun, but I don't know if I would try to do it again, unless if it was the Dodgers and the Yankees, because those are the two teams that I like. You know, my American League team, I always kind of low key root for the Yankees, and of course the Dodgers. And so if they played each other in the World Series, holy shit, I think I would have to go, and it would be historic. But
I could give a shit about the Yankees. I don't know
no,
how you. Well, you know what it is I'm not a huge baseball fan anyway. I mean, I like to go to the games because I can walk around and look at people and do other things. I wasn't much for ever watching the games on TV, and the only team that I liked was the Dodgers. I didn't care about any of the other East Coast teams. It's not like football. There's 4 or 5 teams I like in football, um, and I enjoy watching them. But baseball, I'm not going to watch a game unless it's the Dodgers. I'm not going
well,
to do it.
I have an American League team. Now, I used to root for the Angels too until they won a World Series, and then which was fine. I rooted for them in that World Series, if you remember.
Yeah, I've been
Um,
to some Yankee games, but not because I wanted to see them. The Angels. I wasn't necessarily an Angel fan, but
yeah,
the Angels stunk for so
yeah,
much. My friend, Mike and Ellen. Mike and Ellen were from New York. They loved the Yankees,
yeah,
and the way we could go see them is to go see an Angel game, pay minimum price $6 for a nosebleed, but there was never anybody there. We could walk all the way down to field seats
yes,
and watch the game. So I went to several games at Angel Stadium so that Mike could see the Yankees. And then I would go from time to time just to go because, like I said, you buy nosebleed and walk all the way down to field seats.
and um, laughably, that's still the case today. You can go. It's been a couple years, but a few years back, I paid $3 for an Angel ticket off StubHub at last minute because my friend wanted to go and he didn't have an extra seat, and so I jumped on StubHub really quick and I found one for $3.
It's still kind of that
Yeah,
way now. One of my favorite bloggers, Adam the Woo, he got into baseball. He lived like less than 3/4 of a mile from Anaheim Stadium, and he would walk. And he went to several games, and they had a special night at Angel Stadium for $5, and he was buying nosebleed seats, but he could walk all around the park. Now he couldn't really get down into the premium seats, but he could go to the outfield, and he walked all around.
yeah,
But what's really shocking is he had a place in Florida too. That's where he spent a lot of his, younger adult years, teenage and adult years. And he went to Devil Ray games. They were fucking a fantastic team. They were headed to the playoffs. People thought they'd be in the World Series. And they had worse attendance than the frickin' Angels did. It's crazy.
yep, yep. It's because it's not a baseball town.
No. But
Uh,
I would have went to, if I was in better condition, I would have went to a few Angel games, if nothing else, like Adam the Woo, to see
better
Otani.
better teams.
No, Otani. What's his name?
Oh, JDM Babe Ruth. Yeah, Otani.
Yeah, I would have went to see him, and that's
Yeah,
a lot of the reasons that Adam the Woo went.
yeah,
He'd go to the outfield hoping that he'd hit a home run, and he actually did hit a couple of home runs during a couple of the games he went to, but he went to several. But I mean,
yeah,
hell, I'd go to the Angels just to watch him play. He made history.
yeah.
It's never been done since Babe Ruth.
Nope. That's why I call I call him JDM Babe Ruth. That's my nickname for him. And
Uh,
well, what I was saying was I used to root for the Angels. They were my American League team, right? Convenient. They're both also in California.
right.
But after they won the World Series, and it wasn't immediate. It was like maybe 2 or 3 years after they won the World Series, something happened, and the fans, they're fans. I have friends who are Angel fans, and they started talking a lot of shit. Like they first of all, the owner started like kind of changing the name of the team and trying to be, oh, we're the Los Angeles Angels. They took away the California. I mean, I know that happened a while ago, and then they took away the Anaheim, and now we're LA, and there started, billboards started popping up around Dodger Stadium, and I was like, wait a minute, no, no.
They're not the Los
Yeah,
Angeles Angels.
I'm like, no, we got a problem. And then the fans got big heads. They won a World Series. They got big heads. They started talking a lot of shit, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna start rooting for the Yankees now. Fuck your team. Like this is it. That's it. Like I was over it.
Well,
And
not even being a huge baseball fan, had I moved down here sooner before the end of the season, I might have gone to an Angel game or two because you could get pretty cheap prices and parking wasn't even horrible,
you still can.
Well, maybe next year we'll see. I can't plan that far advance, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I like being in the environment, just like with the concerts. I
Well,
don't mind going to the concerts, even though music isn't like on the top of my list, like my buddy Trevor. It's all about the music.
yeah.
For me, it's the ambiance. It's just the electricity, the vibe, the people. That's what I get into.
Well, now Angel Stadium's not very electric these days. Just as
No,
FYI, but and I mean Dodger Stadium is still by far and away my favorite venue in LA. But I will
by a
admit,
mile.
I'll give props where props is due. I will admit Angel Stadium is very easy.
It is easy.
It's easy to get in. It's easy to get out. It's easy to navigate the stadium. It's very big. It's very airy. Nice wide aisles. It's not like carved into the side of a mountain like Area 51 Dodger Stadium. And the corridors are nice and wide, nice and tall, nice and open. So it's easy to navigate that stadium. It's easy to get around it. And I recognize that. I still prefer Dodger Stadium over just because of the aura.
It's Dodger
It's
Stadium.
Dodger
Don't get
Stadium.
much better than that.
It's like a temple. It's a historical landmark that we still get to go enjoy. It's
The
not.
only other place I enjoy going more than Dodger Stadium, well, I love Red Rocks. Red Rocks is just magical. But
Mm,
for a sporting venue, I have to give props to the fucking pit. I loved going to the pit. The energy, the electricity, the noise is just, I loved the pit.
that's a different reason though. That's a like it was built. It's purpose built. It was built to be
Yes.
loud, and it accomplishes the goal. That's what it was made for.
But I'm just saying, I mean, Dodger Stadium is iconic. I didn't go a lot when I was a kid. I mean, you don't know how good you have it, Brian. I mean, you're so and you're so reminiscent of my father, and I'm glad that you love him and you want everything from him. But I might have went to two Dodger games in my entire life before I was 18, and they were because he got free tickets from one of the salesmen where he worked. He became a supervisor at Hycon, and he got tickets to the game, and that's the only reason we went. I went as many times with my coach, my junior high school coach, as I did with my dad. It was a different time back then. You didn't go. I listened to every game on the radio, and I actually got to learn about hockey. I still don't particularly care for hockey, but the hockey game was on just before the Dodger game.
Right.
So I'd listen, or just after, I can't remember, or maybe it varied, but I would just listen to the Kings since I was listening to the Dodgers anyway, and it was on the same station. But I don't know. Dodger Stadium is iconic, and I love it. And I went quite a bit when I was a young adult. I took you a few times, and we went to the games. But I don't know, man. The pit, I just loved that pit.
I mean, it's cool. And if you're talking about venues as far as mm, like loudness, like what's the word I'm looking for here? Like experience, like
Energy.
energy. Yeah, energy, overall experience. Yeah, the pit is right there as far as like noise level goes. I've been to several basketball games at Staples Center, and that kind of sucks. Staples
I
Center,
never went.
Staples Center. I mean, I know the house that Shaq built, and
I know.
Kobe won all his championships there. It's historic. It's hallowed ground now for the Lakers. But as a Laker fan, I missed the Forum. The Forum was loud. The Forum, it was more intimate. It was a more intimate experience. Like you're down in there and it's loud, and you feel like you yourself feel like you're surrounded with the crowd as well. Like it's not just the Staples Center feels more like a auditorium. Like I don't know how to put it. It's big, it's open, it's the ceiling's super tall. It's not very loud in there. I've been to plenty of sold out Laker games at Staples Center, and it's just eh. Dodgers.
I've never been to a professional basketball game. I've
Um,
been to Poly a lot of times, and I really
well,
don't like Poly Pavilion.
no, Paulie's not loud either.
Big. It's got that open end and
Yeah.
one end.
Well, they
I
fixed
mean,
that. That's not the case anymore.
well, that shows you how long it's been since I've been
Yeah.
to a UCLA game. But the pit just blew Poly away. But I'm a big UCLA fan,
Right.
and I did go to that same coach that took me to a couple baseball games took us all to a UCLA game or two when I was in junior high school. So
Now the renovations did a lot for Pauley Pavilion. It's still not super loud. It's not as loud as the pit. Not many places are.
no,
But it's better than Staples Center. And as far as like going to professional basketball games, no, I don't. I haven't been to one. Gosh, the last time I went to a Laker game, we still had Pau Gasol. How long has that been?
well, he played for quite a few years. Him and Kobe, they were
Yeah,
real good friends actually, even. But I've never been, and I never really had a huge desire. For one thing, they're way too expensive.
they're expensive. And
Um,
it doesn't make a lot of sense because there's a lot of games, and so it should be like
no.
baseball. There's not as many as there are for baseball, but there's still a lot of basketball games, so they should be cheaper. But
Well, talk about your millionaires. They're the
NBA,
highest paid players. The
yeah,
NBA is the highest paid players of any sport, and there's only five starters on the team, and they're all millionaire five times over,
yeah,
even the lowest paid player in the NBA.
the role
But
players,
but you have to understand too. If you look at all the sports, they are the most athletic of any other sport. You can't just roll up and play basketball. You have to be almost a freak to
well,
play basketball in the NBA.
yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't say they're the most athletic though. Like if
They are
if
the most athletic, Brian,
if
overall.
if somebody just threw me into an arena and said, "Here, you have to play now," I would rather that happen to me for basketball than football. Like the people who play in the NFL, they're freakish. They're huge people. Have you stood next to an NFL player? They're freakish. They
Yes,
dwarf
but
me.
now stop and think, Brian, especially when I was in high school. Now, granted, I'm a little bit on the freakish side myself. I mean, I'm 6'4", and I was born in the '50s. So to be 6'4" from that era is pretty damn tall, and
Yes.
I have a big frame. If I would have, in fact, I did have a scholarship to go to Azusa Pacific, but mostly because of a family member that was coaching there, an extended family member. Brought the tapes of my games, and they gave me a scholarship, but it wasn't a doable thing for me. But anyway, if I would have been more dedicated, lifted weights more, did all this stuff, I would have had a pretty good shot of getting into at least a good college program. Who knows how far I would have went? Because back then, your standard lineman was about between 6'2", 6'4", weighed about between 250 and 350. I weighed 254 pounds in high school. I mean, I had a shot. Let's put it that way. There's no fucking way that the average person could lift weights or shoot free throws for 24 hours a day and be able to play in the NBA. You have to be like almost a freak.
Yeah, but you could be my height and still play in the NBA because there's
Brian, they
there's
got guards now, starting way back like with Magic and that. They got guards that are 6'5",
I know,
six foot
but
six.
what I'm saying is you don't see people my size in the NFL ever. Ever. Like they're all above 6'3". Like in the NBA though, you see players like Derek Fisher, okay? My wife made a comment one time we were watching a Laker game. Derek Fisher, she made a comment on how big he was. And like, oh, he's so little. Look at him. I turned and looked at her. I'm like, he's 6'1". I'm 6'1". Like, he's not that little. Like,
No.
he's my height. And and she's like, really? He's 6'1". I'm like, yeah, he's 6'1". But that was funny to me. But there are players in the NBA, and there have been players in the past in the NBA that were even smaller than me that had successful careers. You don't see small people in the NFL have a successful career. What's the smallest person in the NFL you ever saw? What was that dude who played
It's two
for?
completely games though, Brian. The NFL is
Yeah.
a total 100% physical contact. The NBA has a lot of contact, but it's not supposed to. That's why they call fouls and
Yes.
ticky fouls. So yes, a small person that's gifted with speed and can shoot lights out. Yeah, they can play basketball. There's even been guys under 6 foot that have played basketball, but they didn't have long careers either. I'm just saying, generally speaking, especially nowadays, you have to be a freak.
Yeah.
Go if you did go to one of those games. If you ever got in the locker room or back down and you just like walked around, you'd understand that you're walking among like 1%, less than 1% of the population can do what they do.
Yes.
So, but whereas football and a team sport like that, if you were dedicated enough, no, you still have to be big. The person with the biggest heart for football I've ever known is my best friend Frank Ortiz from grade school. But he kept getting passed over for bigger guys. He just wasn't big enough. Now I was big enough, if I would have done all that, I think I could have done stuff. But I didn't have the drive after high school. It wasn't fun. I did go to Azusa Pacific. I did, and they gave me a playbook that was freaking 3 inches thick and expected me to go to all my classes and spend 5 hours doing football. And it wasn't fun anymore. It was a fucking business. So it just wasn't for me. But I'm just saying, a normal person like me, I probably could have done it, but not basketball. Not basketball in a million years.
I think if I was in better shape, I could have played basketball. I
I
can
don't know.
I can still shoot the ball really good. Um, what was I gonna? Something came to mind when you were talking about your friend. Oh, Rudy Rudiger. That's what he reminded me of.
Yeah.
Rudy.
He had the heart, but he just didn't have the size. I mean, he was a better player than a lot of the other players, but they'd always go with the bigger guy.
That's what
But
happens.
anyway, yep, that's the way it is.
All right, moving on. We got 10 minutes left, and I haven't talked about my trip yet. I recently went back to Hawaii, back to the islands. Had to skip because of COVID, of course, last year, so we didn't get to go. And this this trip to Alani was actually paid for 2 years ago, so there was a lot of excitement for this one. But I guess I don't know. I romanticized a little bit. Alani is not that great. It's not what I remembered, anyways, and I think it might be because my wife and her mom had a similar experience that I had, and I think it might be our last time going there for a while. I think we're gonna just go to Maui from now on for
That's what
Thanksgiving.
I mean, I wouldn't mind going there, but only if I went with grandkids. But you know, if like Maui, I went on 3 snorkeling trips. We went on that one that was the Coast Guard kind of raft boat that was fucking fantastic. It was the most thrilling thing I did in my life. All this stuff, and it's just wide open what you can do with your own little trip if you got the initiative to go do it.
Right?
You don't need to go to an all-inclusive resort like that.
No.
In fact, it would piss me off that because I'd want my own car and go outside anyway.
Yeah.
So no, I understand that, and I mean for the grandkids, it's fantastic for them. They got the characters there, they got all this and that, but I would much rather, especially if I had that kind of money to do that. Can you imagine how much fun you could have in Maui with that kind of money spent for that place? I mean, the sky's the limit.
Well, I remember there being less people. I feel like it was really crowded.
Well,
Um,
there's a lot of pent up, just like you guys. People
yeah,
couldn't go for a year.
yeah, and all the pools were really crowded, and it was just I don't know. It wasn't the same. It didn't feel the same, and there's a lot of COVID rules still in place that probably had something to do with it subconsciously. But I don't know. It wasn't that great. But one thing that also kind of dampened the trip a little bit was I guess like a couple days before we left, the governor of Hawaii lifted the restrictions for indoor dining and all of that. They left it up to the islands, the individual islands, to make their own decisions, but they basically said it was all right to be at full capacity. And so I think what happened was there was like a massive amount of people that just descended on Oahu. And the Wednesday, it was the day that we got our rental car and drove into Oahu and Waikiki, Honolulu rather. Sorry, we drove into Honolulu and Waikiki, and it was so packed. There was just people everywhere. Parking in Honolulu sucks anyway. It was 10 times worse this time trying to park, and people just everywhere. Everything was so just crowded. It was nonsense, and I'm like, I'll be really happy if we never come back here. Let's just go to Maui. Why do we come here?
I
Like,
don't know why the people would congregate on Oahu. I can do everything that I want to do on Oahu in a couple days.
well, it's because of Waikiki. That's where the kids want to go, like young people.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. The only nice thing about Honolulu is, yeah, Waikiki. You can go and you can visit the places that Elvis made his movies. You go out to the shaved ice place. famous things like that. Then of course you got Pearl Harbor, which is like the jewel. But beyond that, I mean, just the beauty of Maui, the scenic drive, the waterfalls, it just I don't know why anybody would want to spend an entire week or two on Oahu.
No, Maui is the way to go.
Well, and then there's the other one too that a lot of people like that we've never been to. Jewel, what do they
Kauai.
call it? Kauai.
Now, we talked about going to Kauai. We talked about going to the Big Island. I've never been to either one of those. I've only been to Maui and to Oahu. And, I mean, we talked about that. I would rather go back to Maui, though. I mean, I like Maui so much.
Yes, I liked Maui.
Compared to Oahu. But
when I was there in '77 or whatever it was, there wasn't even a big mega hotel there. There was just condos on the beach. It was called the Honeymoon Island. That was the nickname for it back then. They were building the first fast food place there, a Pizza Hut. That was the first fast food place on Maui when I went to Maui in 1977. They were building the first place, and it was a Pizza Hut.
Well, I like Front Street. A lot of people say it's, it's a tourist trap, which it is a little bit. It's a little touristy. But
Lahaina.
I like it. I like Front Street in Lahaina. Yeah, it's nice.
I did too. It's nice. I liked it. I mean, I would never go to Bubba Gump, but I can't really say anything because every city I go to, I went to a Hard Rock. But hey,
I don't think we'll be going back to a Bubba Gump anytime soon either.
Rebecca, well, you had to have had a good time. You can't go to a Disney property and not have a good time.
I mean, it was fun. It's still Hawaii, and yes, we had fun. Did a lot of swimming, but they have a lazy river that circles like a large area of the property, and that's one of the things. Oh shit! Hold on, dummy. Go. That's one of the things that we like to do a lot. And I feel like it was just packed with people. Like you couldn't even just relax on the lazy river because you got these shithead kids pushing the inner tubes out of the way and going in a rush. They're not going along with the stream like you're supposed to.
Right.
And playing around in the water. And then it's just shoulder to shoulder people in the damn thing. It's just like, it's not enjoyable. And you get out and you go over to the pool, one of the pools. There's one pool there that we like to go to. It's an infinity pool. And it looks out over the little cove, the man-made lagoon. And it's just packed. Like, you can't even get to the edge. You just look and it's just people all along the edge. And it's packed and you can't, it's like, I don't know. It wasn't fun this time. The last time we were there, it wasn't like that. Like, there was people there, of course. It's a resort. But it wasn't like that. Like, there wasn't as many people.
I find it surprising that they would overbook that because Disneyland isn't doing that. I mean, even to this day, I've gone to Disneyland a few times. It's been a couple weeks. I'm going Friday. But, it's pretty crowded. I've been on a couple Saturdays and Fridays. And, of course, you go by the Jungle Cruise and all that. That's a bottleneck. But overall, it's not nearly as crowded as pre-COVID.
Right. And I don't know. I guess it's a different kind of. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for that. When we went to the luau, I mean, it didn't seem like it was more crowded than last time we went. That particular thing, but the pools just seemed like there were more people there. There were too many people.
How would you compare the luau on Disney property compared to the one we went to on your wedding?
You can't compare it. It's the one that we went to on Maui in Lahaina is 100% better.
Of course, yes, it was.
Yeah.
I would feel that way.
Yeah,
it was one of the better ones that were on Maui, one of the highest rated ones.
Yeah, it's 100% better. Now, not to knock Alani, their luau is relatively new. Like the first year that we went there, they weren't even really doing one. Like They had a show. It was a show like a luau, but they didn't have food. It was only for kids. You know, they had the
The
characters and
fuck?
everything.
No food? That's
Yeah,
what a luau is.
yeah. And so that's what they called it, but it was really just a show. And then the second time we went back to Alani, then they had food, and it was more like a traditional luau. But as far as like the quality of the food and the quality of the show, and like all the things that they include with the show, you can't compare it to the one on Lahaina. The one on Lahaina was just spectacular compared to Alani. The one on Alani is not bad. Like if you're going to Alani, and you got kids and you want to go and you want to see a luau, I mean, go. It's fine. It's pricey, but the food is okay, and I mean, it's a fun show. They use fire, then they show the kids how to build shit, and it's fine. I mean, it's fine. If you want to experience a really nice luau, yeah, go to somewhere else. That's not what I would consider, the gold standard.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun at that luau. My cocoa monkey, my refillable Mai Tais or whatever they were. You know me, I'm not a big drinker. I've only been drunk twice in my life, but I was pretty fucking tipsy at the end of that one because of
Well,
the refillable cocoa monkey.
yeah, and I mean, I'll give Alani props for the blue Hawaiians that I was drinking, because they do have bottomless drinks there, and they were making them pretty strong. I could taste the rum, but I mean, yeah, you can't compare it to that other luau.
I don't know. It was a special trip. The time I went for your wedding, it was great. The bull moose place we went to, one of the most fantastic alcoholic drinks I've ever had. That lava flow, it was like raspberry with ice cream swirled and alcohol. I mean, you're drinking something that tastes fantastic, and you know me, I'm not going to drink beer or bitter or shit like that. I drank that like it was a strawberry shake from In and Out, yet it fucked you up.
Well, it had a lot of alcohol, and when you start mixing alcohol with sugar in those drinks like that, it makes you drunk even faster.
And you can't taste the alcohol.
No, the pancakes. Oh man, that's another reason why I want to go back to Maui. I miss the gazebo. Those pancakes are killer, man.
Oh, the coconut syrup and the mango. I mean the nuts. What do you call them?
Macadamia nuts.
Oh my God, they had these chocolate coconut macadamia nuts. I couldn't. I almost killed myself eating those goddamn things.
Still have some at work that I brought for my coworkers. There was something else about. Oh God, we went to the restaurant on Alani the second day we were there. We went for breakfast, and I got a Moco Loco, and they put fucking fried rice in the Moco Loco.
It's not supposed to have fried rice.
No, it's supposed to have white rice, and because my sister-in-law got it, as well, and she's digging through hers, and she's like, "There's peas in here," and I'm like, "What?" And so I start digging into mine a little bit more, and I'm like, "Yeah, I got peas and carrots, and there's little chunks of holy shit, this is fried rice." There was like chunks of meat in the rice too, and I'm like, "They gave us fried rice with the Moco Loco," and we're looking at each other like, "It's not supposed to have fried rice, right?" I'm like, "No, it's not supposed to have fried rice. It's supposed to be white rice."
I wouldn't have been too pissed off because I love fried rice, but still,
I
it's
mean,
not Moco. You can't call it that if you're putting fried rice in there with peas
no,
and carrots. No fucking way.
no.
And I don't like peas and carrots in my fried rice anyway.
And if you ran out of white rice and all you have is fried rice, just tell me, and I'll order something else. Like this, that was nonsense. Yeah, that was the other thing that made me angry. I wasn't happy about that. But all right, we're over an hour. We can stop unless you have something else you want to add.
Nope.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for listening. Good night.